Hey friends, Jim Heskett, the Juggling author here, just to make a quick video to show you how I structure my Scrivener projects. It's one of the questions that I get fairly often. I think I found a pretty good way to structure Scrivener so that it helps me manage my time. So we're going to be looking at the third book in the Lane Parish series here as my example, so if you don't want any spoilers for that, you might want to look away. But so I always have a little research folder over here, and I don't make a whole lot of use of like uploading pictures of stuff or web links or any of that kind of jazz. I don't mess too much with that, but I do usually keep the most current version of my Lane Bible. And also, if I've got beats, I will paste those. And I usually do my beats like in a different note file, and then I paste them in here. But then after I've written through all the scenes at least once, I'll come back here and delete the beats so that they don't appear in search and muddy my search results. So I've got some standard back matter that I use for basically all my books. So whenever I'm creating a new project, I will copy an existing project and paste it so I don't have to recreate all this stuff. I know that all of my back matters are all going to basically be relatively very much like this. So I'll just copy that and make some individual tweaks so I don't have to recreate them all. Almost all of my books will start off with an offer, which is a front matter lead magnet offer that's up here, and so that's going to be relatively the same. And then all of my books I usually, well not all, but most of my books I structured them into 3 parts. You see 1, 2, 3 here, and I use a custom icon so I know what they are. And the number here next to 1, 2, and 3, that is the number of scenes that is in that part of the book. And that helps me know, helps me keep track of where I am or how far I need to go until I'm done. That really helps with editing, so I know that when I get into part 1, there's going to be 16 scenes, so I know if I want to get that part done by this day, I need to edit X number of scenes per day. Let me go and open up part 1 here so you can see. I name my folders after the POV character, so if there are more than one POV character within a chapter, each folder is a chapter, there would be a slash there. And then also, you see the number here, there's a 1 before that and a 2 and then a 3 there, and that is the day. I'm keeping track of how many days my story takes, because when I'm outlining, I'm not necessarily going to say, then this happens on this day, and then this thing happens on this day. I just write this happens, then this happens, then this happens. But as I'm going through and writing, it's important for me to know like when something happened in the story before, if that thing happened 3 days ago or 6 days ago as I'm writing through it. So when I get down to here and I get right to a scene that's at the end of a day, then in the next scene I'm going to write that it takes place at the beginning of the next day. So also, in addition to naming my chapters after the POV characters, I will name my scenes after the POV characters with that POV character's first letter there. So if I'm searching for a scene, like if I were to do something like Thailand, I know appears here because this book takes place partially in Thailand. And I do a full project search. When I'm going over here, I can see each of these scenes, and by the letter at the front, I know whose POV it is, and that will help me better to find the scene that I'm looking for. It's just a quicker way of getting to it. Then you'll see in each of my scenes, so it's named after the first letter of the character, POV character's name, and then just like a 1 or 2 word thing of what happens, so I know which scene it is. Then I also will paste the beat for that scene over here so I can reference it as I'm going along. Something like that's pretty simple, but in the first chapter in this book, you see there's more, there's a longer beat over here and there's more going on, so it's helpful for me to reference that as I'm writing it. So down below you'll see that I have the status bar showing, so I know how many words I've got, because I definitely do word count word count goals for each scene, and so I'm tracking that over there. And also, I don't really do labels, but I do track which draft number each scene is in, so that I know as I'm going along I can move a scene from first to second, etc., and so that helps me with editing to go back and look, because it's possible that I might, as I'm going through, add a scene here, and so that scene would need to then go through the first, second, third draft process, etc. Okay, I'm not really going to cover compiling or any of that stuff. This is just a quick tutorial on how I structure Scrivener and that makes me more efficient as I'm going along. Alright, juggling authors, take care.